Every dribble, every shot, and every defensive stop brings us closer to discovering tomorrow's champions. We are live at the Tanduay Gym in Manila City, and we welcome you to the one and only Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL D-League. In our match at hand, it features the undefeated first-seeded Batang Sanwa Knights Go for Gold and the underrated 8th-seeded Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith. So good morning, everybody. My name is Cholo Pangilinan, covering the action with Kyle Sanchez and CJ Ang on the sidelines. Kyle, if you've learned anything from the Junior MPBL, is that we never know what's going to happen.
Yes, of course, bilog ang bola, and especially here in the playoffs, even upsets can happen between any team. But the match at hand right now, the Sanwa Knights against the Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith, is going to be an interesting battle between these two teams.
And first, let's talk about the last time our two teams met during the elimination round. It was just last November 10, where unfortunately the Batang Sanwa Knights dominated the Mandaluyong Microsmith 110-80.
It was a 30-point victory, a wire-to-wire win for the Batang Sanwa Knights Go for Gold. They dominated the Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith in pretty much every statistical category you could think of. But the thing that stands out to me is the 72 points in the paint, really having their way both on offense and defense against the Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith, who will once again have a tall task ahead of them here today.
And again, we have to take note on the other division, rather on the other North Division, rather South Division. The San Pedro Mamba was able to beat the first-seeded Tanawan Brahman, so it's definitely far from impossible to see Mandaluyong chip even one W against the undefeated Batang Sanwa Knights Go for Gold. But for now, that's it. We'll be turning it over to our venue announcer, Gio Cruz, for the start of our ball game.
Taas noo kahit kanino, walang ibang sinisigaw ang masang Pilipino. Bumagsak, bumangon, hinarap ang mga hamon, hanggang ang kahirapan tuluyan nating matalo.
Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL
would like to thank Dorite Bola ng Pinoy, the first Pinoy basketball brand, Don Benitos, ang pambansang cassava, Nature Spring, #1 bottled water in the Philippines, Pound for Pound Fitness, The Liga Ready, Jinky Skin, empowering women by redefining beauty, Pound Active, for quality sportswear, Wing Bowl, it's like coming home, Chris Jacob Collection, for affordable but quality daily perfumes,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome here inside the Tanduay Athletic Gym, Manila City, for the continuation of Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL D-League, ang liga ng bawat batang Pilipino. It's the North Division quarterfinals, game 1 of the best-of-3 series between Batang Sanwa Knights and Mandaluyong Microsmith. Now let's carry on to starters. First, from Batang San Juan Knights. Starting guard number 28, Lance Ronquillo. Under guard number 29, Zyros Mina. And forward number 4, Andre Macaranas. Under forward number 7, Mark Anagbogu. And at center number 63, Joe Gulapa. Head coach is Drake Santos. Assisted by J.R. Carlos. Team manager, June Usman. And now let us meet the starters from Mandaluyong Microsmith. Starting guard number 7, Carlo Mendoza. Under guard number 10, Carlos Cantorna. And forward number 19, JP Magpayo. Under forward number 30, Ando Cruz. And at center number 55, Robert Monteroso. Mandaluyong Microsmith is led by JP Magpayo. Team manager, Mark Herrera. Our game officials for this ball game, crew chief Nino Barcenas, umpire 1 Alan Paria, and umpire 2 Noy Guevara. Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL D-League, ang liga ng bawat batang Pilipino.
And here we go again. This is game 1 of a best of 3 quarterfinals playoff matchup between the undefeated Batang San Juan Knights and the underrated 8-seeded Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith. And just like what we've mentioned, unfortunately Batang San Juan Knights really dominating the Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith in their last outing, 110-80.
And even today in our quarterfinals matchup, really undersized itong Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith with Roberto Monteroso manning the middle. I've covered this kid before and really plays the 2-guard spot, but he will have to play power forward or even center here today.
Yes, I remember Monteroso playing the 2-guard during his days in the 18 and under division. He was teammates with Russell Bayani, which we've mentioned a while ago. By this time, it's Jomacio Golapa, first bucket of the game belonging to him.
Well, it's going to be a long day here for the Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith, especially if Golapa has his way in the paint.
Let's see what will be the game plan for Coach Drake Santos. Meanwhile, Monteroso, the fade away, won't go for him. In transition, Zyros Mina finds Lance Ronquillo, inside pass, Macaranas overcooks the shot.
That was a good pass there from Ronquillo. Macaranas not using the glass there, overshoots it.
Monteroso, one more shot, still not falling for Microsmith. Ronquillo to the left corner, back to Lance. Anagbogu. Inside, Andre Macaranas. Outside again. Anagbogu. Mid-range jumper, no good for him. Monteroso the rebound, forward pass, Cantorna. Here comes Carlos. First points of Mandaluyong belonging to him.
Well, to negate the size of these San Juan Knights, it's going to have to be a running game for the Junior Microsmith.
Meanwhile, San Beda Red Lion, Zyros Mina knocks down that 3-point shot. 5-2, Ado Cruz attacks, sends it out. Another penetration, another standout for Mandaluyong. Same play all over again, Ado Cruz. But they stay outside. 5 to shoot for them. Cantorna will fire. No good for Carlos. Rebound, Lance Ronquillo. He attacks, Ronquillo in transition, will miss. Anagbogu still no good in the putback attempt. That's out of bounds, but possession will stay with Mandaluyong. Five to 2, 3-point lead for the Knights. Ado Cruz gets one to go, 5-4.
Well, at the very least, the Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith can try to keep things close here against the Batang San Juan Knights.
Meanwhile, Monteroso able to draw a foul. Freebies will be given to him.
Ronquillo tried to take the charge there, but he was still backpedaling as Monterroso made his move.
First one on its way for Monterroso. Second, rather, that's good for him.
We're tied right now at 5 apiece. Ronquillo bringing the ball up.
Setting up the offense's lance. Ronquillo fires. That's good.
No interior defense right now for the junior Microsmith.
However, quick to answer back is Ado Cruz. And that's a 1-point lead now for the junior Microsmith. Meanwhile, inside, Joe Gulapa. Almost but not quite. Nevertheless, 2 freebies coming up for the future Mapua Cardinal.
There's no one on the Mandaluyong lineup who can match up one-on-one with Joe Gulapa, so he can try asking for the ball a bit more and be more aggressive here in this game.
First one is good for Jomacio Gulapa. Tied game at 8. Second one on its way. Again, currently playing for the Mapua Cardinals. 2 out of 2 for Joe Gulapa. 1-point lead for the Knights. Ado Cruz will lose it. Gulapa with the steal. He brings it down. And inside, that's good from Datario. Three-point lead for San Juan. That's no good from Cantorna. Gulapa will lose it in transition. On the other side, Carlos Cantorna, no defender inside.
Joe Gulapa had Lance Ronquillo to his side, could have given him the ball. Was unaware that Monterroso was right behind him, who got that steal.
Ronquillo swings it to the left side. Mina to the right corner. Datario, no good from downtown. Rebound by Monterroso. He's running, but that's too strong from Cantorna. Try to save it, but it's with Andre Macaranas. On the other side, Jomacio Gulapa. Three-point lead for the Knights. Carlos and company trying to figure out some offense. Cantorna asking for a pick. Monterroso provides it. Carlos attacks. Carlos gets blocked by Gulapa. And this time, Andre Macaranas in transition will miss the shot.
And baby, that layup and his takeoff was a bit awkward there.
This time, San Juan, Andre Macaranas, a lot of errors this quarter.
Ronquillo getting a little fancy on that pass with that no-look to Macaranas. Pati yung salo ni Macaranas, no-look din tuloy. The ball will go back to the junior Microsmith.
Here comes Mandaluyong. A chance to regather. Cruz. Couple of moves. Sends it out. They trade from deep. In and out. Jamir Eligado in the ball game. Eligado, first points of the game for him.
Another big body for the Batang San Juan Knights. Eligado, even with the Gulapa on the bench, no, maraming pamalit who can contribute down low.
He's another Mapua Cardinal playing for the San Juan Batang Knights. Meanwhile, Monterroso fade away. Oh, that's good.
And that's his spot, no? That short corner baseline jumper by Robert Monterroso.
Meanwhile, he successfully defends Eligado in transition. Here comes Monterroso. The bump puts one up of the window. Won't fall for him. Jamir Eligado will lose the basketball. Another great defensive stop from Robert Monterroso. Datario has it. Eligado sa pass up. Back to Datario. He'll try from deep. Gets it to go.
A great out-of-bounds play ran by the Knights there. Eligado with a beautiful screen.
And the Knights now up by 6. Slowly but surely building some foundation. Ado Cruz will fire. And sa pass-up, fouling him on the act of shooting. Ado Cruz will now go to the line for 2.
This was that last out of bounds play from the baseline there. And these 3-pointers by the Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith are probably going to be their best weapon here today to try and keep things close against the Batang San Juan Knights. And even if they don't make their 3-pointers, well, at the very least, this time Ado Cruz getting fouled, taking 3 free throws.
So far making 2. One last freebie on his way. A chance to cut the lead to just a single possession, and he does.
And it will be tough for them to match up defensively against the Batang San Juan Knights. So their best weapon right now is for them to try and shoot their way into this ball game with those 3-pointers and easy baskets in transition. And another Mapu Cardinal checking into this game. Kendall Valentin now seeing some action.
Eligado has it. Tatario. JD Guarino. The left side. They swing it around the arc. Ends up with Datario. No good from deep. And they get it back. JD finds Valentin. Back to Guarino. Inside Datario. The spin. Almost lost it. 5 to shoot. Inside Jamir Eligado. Timeout called by the Junior Microsmith. As they're down, I believe, by 5 points. We'll be back for more action.
Head coach of the Batang San Juan Knights, Coach Drake Santos, said that since no elimination round pa lang until this day, the playoffs, hindi naman daw nawala yung kaba. Pero ngayon nadagdagan naman daw ng excitement as he believes na parte yun being in this prestigious league. Coach Drake wants to see and prove that the team has already transformed from their previous games and see the learnings. Even with a 7-0 record, it is always the attitude that matters. Cholo and Kyle.
Thank you very much, CJ, for that report. And indeed, pressure always comes with everything that you do, especially for Coach Drake Santos. You know, leading, even though it's the D-League counterpart, you're wearing a coaching uniform of the legendary San Juan Knights.
We all know how accomplished this program has been, and now even in the younger ranks, no, sa ating junior MPBL D-League, talagang makikita mo yung culture that the San Juan Knights have brought, that winning tradition.
Right now, speaking of winning, it's a 5-point lead for the Batang San Juan Knights. As Ado Cruz will miss from way downtown. They get it back. Mendoza, sorry miss. Here comes the pass up. Drops it to Eligado. Reverse lay and it's good for Jamir Eligado.
No rim protection for the Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith, so the San Juan Knights have gotten their way so far inside the paint, getting whatever look they want on offense.
Monteroso back to Cruz outside. Picked up by Kendall Valentin. Ado Cruz puts one up, greatly defended by Valentin. And here comes the Batang San Juan Knights. Another 2 points for them.
That's right, it's looking like layup drills on the other end for the Batang San Juan Knights. The Junior Microsmith not bothering anymore to go back on transition.
10 to shoot. 7 seconds left. Outside spray. Cantor now for 3. Won't hit for Carlos. And that's it for Chapter 1. 27-18, a 9-point lead for the Batang San Juan Knights. And we'll be back for more action. Once again, this is the one and only Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL D-League. Back to the action here for the start of our second chapter. Again, the Batang San Juan Knights up by 9 points, 27-18. And so far leading the charge, first for the Microsmith is Ado Cruz already with 11 points. And for the Batang San Juan Knights, it's a distributed scoring output for them. But Jamir Eligado has the most with 6 points. Speaking of the Knights, they have possession for the first one. Kendall Valentin hits from downtown.
Aside from their paint scoring, no, their shooters are just finding themselves open out in the perimeter. Great ball movement there for the Batang San Juan Knights.
Make that 6 points for Kendall Valentin. Meanwhile, Cantorna will lose it on his way to the iron. Sends it out, Ado Cruz. Unable to knock down that three. Monterroso the save. But it's now with San Juan. Inside, great passing. Everybody touched the ball. But that was a sorry miss from Eligado nevertheless. Detario cleans up his own mess. Foul called on Jamir Eligado. Right now it's a 14-point lead for the San Juan Knights. It's not looking good for them. Talking about Mandaluyong, of course. Right now it's Mendoza handling the basketball. The pick from Robert Monterroso. Mendoza sends it out. Cantorna, he'll fire from deep. Overcooks that shot.
And no second chance points here for the Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith, so they really have to focus on making that initial attempt.
Meanwhile, on the other side, 1-on-2 situation. Kendall Valentin erases that shot. Good thing JD Magpayo was there.
Kendall Valentin doing his best LeBron James chase down block impersonation. Unfortunately, no one else going back on defense.
And quick to answer back is Kendall Valentin. Lead is still at 14. Both teams just going back to back in our second period so far. 2 minutes passing by. Ado Cruz drawing that foul. 2 freebies coming up.
The Cruz not allowing the defense of Batang San Juan to set up there, attacking 2 defenders as they had their backs turned. Kendall Valentin got called for that foul. It's already a 14-point lead for the Batang San Juan Knights. 13 rather, with that Cruz free throw.
First one is good for Cruz. Averages 18 points per game, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists per game. But still, the issue of being undermanned is going to be present for the Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith. Meanwhile, sa pass-up, try to set it inside. Eligado gets it that away and puts it in.
Even when Mandaluyong plays good defense, it's just simply not enough. You can see the height disparity between both teams. The big men right now of Mandaluyong just as tall as the guards of Batang San Juan Knights, and that is not going to be a good sign for them.
Meanwhile, interrupted by Monterroso. Sa pass-up gets it back. 2 more points for the San Juan Knights. Lead is ballooned to 16. Still in favor of the Knights, of course. With under 3 minutes passing by in our second period. Ado Cruz inside fine. Cantorna finally gets the 2 points. Guarino inside. Mejia outside. Valentin. No good for him. Eligado the putback. Another day in the office for Jamir Eligado.
Nothing Magpayo could do there. Even if he does box out Eligado, Eligado's still a lot taller than Magpayo.
Mandaluyong now down by 16 again. Ado Cruz, nowhere to go. Try to set it inside, but that's stolen by Kendall Valentin. Meanwhile, great passing in transition for the Batang San Juan Knights.
That's how you run the fast break there. Not a lot of dribbles.
Monterroso, awkward shot. Goes in anyway for him.
And this is what the Junior Microsmith can do to lessen the load on themselves. Not just move that ball, not try to do too much individually.
Delicado. Big boy moves. Not that time. Valentin getting fouled. We see someone on the floor for Mandaluyong. I believe that's Robert Monterroso.
Clutching onto his right shin as he was defending Elgado there in the post. Our medics rushing over to Monterroso to try and check up on this young man who has been doing his best guarding the bigs of the Batang San Juan Knights down in the paint. Still writhing in pain on the floor, visibly shaken, clutching onto his right shin area. Still unable to straighten out that leg. Hopefully he'll be able to return here in this ball game.
And I mean, you know, we gotta give our props to him. It's no joke receiving some blows coming from Jamir Eligado and Joe Golapa.
And this is not a good sign as Monterroso is not able to put weight on his right leg. Still seated on the floor down by the baseline.
So that's gonna be bad news. So Kendall Valentin will shoot 2 freebies. As a foul, I believe that's called on Mandaluyong. Again, 16-point deficit being faced by Mandaluyong as we have under 6 minutes remaining.
2 free throws now for the former Baby Falcon and UST Tiger, who is now on the team B ng Mapu Cardinals, Kendall Valentin.
First one is no good for him. Second one on its way. I believe that's 7 points already, or 9 points for Kendall Valentin. Mandaluyong with only 4 players. Again, because Robert Monterroso have injured himself. Mendoza going to work. Almost lost it. 4 to shoot. Nowhere to go. At the Cruz. Wasn't aware of the time. So possession going back to the Batang San Juan Knights.
The junior Microsmith need to find a way here somehow to at least make this game competitive against the Batang San Juan Knights.
Meanwhile, Jamir Eligado trying to find Mejia inside. That's good for him. Here comes Mandaluyong again. So far, it's really Ada Cruz just doing all the noise for them. So far has 13. Cantorna has 6. Monterroso has been lighting it up as well, but as we all know, he's not available.
The body language right now of Mandaluyong, you can obviously tell that they're not feeling as good as they would like. No? They're severely undermatched right now against the Batang San Juan Knights.
And they were playing indecently with Monterroso on the roster. On the floor, rather. So even though they only had 5 players, you knew that they wanted to fight at least even the slightest part of themselves.
To add insult to injury, both Gulapa and Macarana set to check back in for the Batang San Juan Knights.
To make matters worse for them, as we're seeing, at least from our vantage point, we're seeing Robert Monterroso again on that baseline area on the other side of the court. So again, hopefully he's all okay.
Well, I'm hoping that it's only a bone bruise or a muscle strain and that nothing was fractured or pulled dito sa mga joints and muscles ni Monterroso. His team severely missing his services right now.
The timeout called right here by Coach Drake Santos. as the Batang San Juan Knights up by 18 points. 3:29 remaining in the game. We'll be back for more action. Back to the action here again. The Batang San Juan Knights up by 18. Anagbogu hits that shot. Another Mapua Cardinal in that roster. .1 lead for the Batang San Juan Knights. Mandaluyong. That's no good. Possession going back to the Batang San Juan Knights. It's really not looking good for Mandaluyong. So far, Monteroso still being aided by our medical team. That's not a good sign. You can actually see it on our screens right now.
And you can tell that the energy has almost completely left this Junior Microsmith team, both on offense and on defense. Their shoulders are down, their body language is not as positive as you would like to see. Hopefully they can find a way to uplift their spirits here today.
First one, it's good. Two out of two for Ado Cruz. Anagbogu inside to Mejia. Drops it to Gulapa. Back to Mejia. Helter Skelter nonetheless. 4 points now for Mejia.
In their first matchup, the Batang San Juan Knights go for gold, had 72 points in the paint, and they are well on their way to match or even surpass that output.
Under 2 minutes remaining. Magpayo has it for Mandaluyong. Crossover move. Puts one up. That's good. San Juan with his possession. Lance Ronquillo finding a way inside. Meanwhile, Mandaluyong having a difficult time. Already having a difficult time as it is. Meanwhile, Lance Ronquillo, no look pass to the cutting Mejia.
Some of these players from San Juan haven't even broken a sweat yet with the way this game has been going. Kind of makes you want to suit up for Mandaluyong, no? Try to help out. I grew up both in San Juan and Mandaluyong, so baka pwede ako mag-homegrown for either team.
Baka pwedeng exception.
Oo.
Actually ako din, eligible pa ako dyan. I'm only 21.
Ayaw nga pala, 21 and under. I'm
Pwede pa.
12 years too late.
Certainly Mandaluyong will need all the help they could get, but right now there's no help to begin with. Two out of two for Magpayo. The lead is at 21. They swing it around the arc. Anagbogu inside. Gulapa puts one up. Too easy for Joe Gulapa.
And no one on the side of the Junior Microsmith able to match up with Gulapa. Pwede pa kung dalawang player tumayo dun sa balikat ng isa, no? Pwede nilang bantayan si Gulapa.
18 seconds remaining in our second period. San Juan using the time inside. Gulapa try to dunk it, changed his mind, just laid it in instead. That'll be it for our first half, 60-35. Safe to say the Batang San Juanites just simply dominating their opponents with no regard for human life. Again, San Juan in the driver's seat. And we'll be back for more action. Once again, this is the one and only Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL D-League.
Mga kaliga, kasama po natin ngayon ang assistant coach ng Batang San Juanites, Coach CJ Tolentino. Coach CJ, what are your thoughts on the team's performance in the first half?
Performance namin dahil yung kalaban namin kulang. So ginawa lang namin, dapat na lang namin sundin yung pinapagawa ng coach namin. And ayun, good basketball.
Coach CJ, meron po ba kayong gustong batiin at pasalamatan?
Siyempre binabati ko ang mga San Juaneños, siyempre si Senator Jinggoy, at si Boss Jeremy Go, at yung team owner namin si Boss Jun Usman. And mga San Juaneños, siyempre.
Thank you, Coach CJ, and good luck po sa inyong team. Magbabalik po kami.
Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL.
Would like to thank Dorite Bola ng Pinoy, the first Pinoy basketball brand, Don Benitos, ang pambansang cassava, Nature Spring, #1 bottled water in the Philippines, pound for pound fitness, Be Liga Ready, Jinky Skin, empowering women by redefining beauty, Pound Active, for quality sportswear, Wing Bowl, it's like coming home, Chris Jacob Collection, for affordable but quality daily perfumes.
Taas noo kahit kanino, walang ibang sinisigaw ang masang Pilipino. Bumagsak, bumangon, hinarap ang mga hamon, hanggang ang kahirapan tuluyan nating matalo.
And at the half, again, the Batang San Juanites go for gold. To simply put it, just dominating their opponents. The Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith 60-35. As San Juan obviously outscoring Mandaluyong during the first and second periods. The first quarter being 27-18, the second quarter being 33-17. So that's gonna be probably surely a sign of bad things to come for Mandaluyong.
As we see our halftime stats, no? Really dominating in almost all facets of the game right now are the Batang San Juanites go for gold. 63% from the field compared to Mandaluyong's 34%, 5 out of 11. From three-point country for Batang San Juan, while 3 for 14 naman for the junior Mandaluyong Microsmith. The rebounding department, of course, obviously leading dito ang Batang San Juan Knights 25-11. The assist department also leading 21-8 in favor of Batang San Juan. Its turnovers 4-6 for Batang San Juan Knights once again.
And there you have it. Again, Batang San Juan Knights really still trying to bury the nail. And again, even though they're dominating this game, they're still bringing out the likes of Joe Gulaba, Bogu Macaranas, even Zainos Mina. So you know that they respect their opponents first and foremost, and secondly, they're in here not to play lightly. That's what you like to see from a team that's undefeated. No complacency whatsoever from the Knights.
No, of course, you still want to show respect to the Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith by playing your hardest, even though they are slightly undermanned right now, even especially with the injury of Monteroso. You still want to be able to execute your game plan and maybe work on some other things as well, which can bode well for you as you advance in the playoffs.
The Cruz getting locked down by Bogu. Obviously, the Batang San Juan Knights much bigger than their opponents. Uni Pascual manning the point guard. The position is smaller. Meanwhile, that's Jomakyo Gulapa once again. Mandaluyong hasn't moved from that 35-point mark in a while. That's great defense for Manday Macaranas. Gulapa forward pass. Mina. 2 points for him. (64-35). 29-point lead now for San Juan. The question left to be asked is how big of a lead will San Juan able to get in this game?
It's going to be a your turn, my turn type of offense right now for Mandaluyong. A lot of isolation plays, trying to break down their defender one-on-one.
And for a quick summary of the Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith, their last match in the eliminations were the Rizal Switch Fiber. Rather correct myself. It's the Manila Health Forum losing to them 84-57. Followed by their current opponents right now, the Batang San Juan Knights. Again, like what we've said in the pregame, they lost to them 110-80. Then followed by the Marikina Shoemaster. They also lost that game 81-61. Same with the Novaliches Playmakers in the Rizal Switch Fiber. So safe to say it hasn't been a great season for the Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith. Unlike last year where in the 18 and under division they were able to get that national championship. Perhaps a proof that it's not every season that you win. Sometimes you lose. But certainly it's going to be a lot of learnings for the boys of Coach Mark Herrera.
Definitely a lot of factors coming into play now for the Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith, which has put them in such a precarious position. But still credit to them for making it all the way here to the quarterfinals. It just so happened that they're matched up against a very tough and undefeated Batang San Juan Knights Go for Gold, who are still playing very well together as a unit. Well, honestly, I expect them to head to the next round. Speaking of the Batang San Juan Knights, but we'll see if Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith can pull off a miracle of some sort.
And actually, Aldo Cruz is their leading scorer, averaging 18 per game, followed by Cantorna with 15. And then they're missing the services of Giro Meca. He averages close to 12 points per game. Could have used Giro Meca's scoring. They finished the elimination round with a record of 0-7, losing all of their games. So, quite a polar opposite San Juan winning their games, Mandaluyong losing all of their games. The Cruz, 2 more free throws for him. Again, Cruz averages 18 per game. And we'll turn it over to CJ Ang for a report.
Thank you, Cholo. Key player of the Batang San Juan Knights, Jamir Eligado, is confident to get the Game 1 W as the team is like a family already. And for him, being a key player is all because of his teammates for helping him to be at his best. Cholo and Kyle.
Thank you very much, CJ, for that report. And right now, the lead is ballooned to 40 points for the Batang San Juan Knights.
And that jam by Gulapa just taking the life out of the Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith. I'm sure they can't wait for this game to be over. It's almost a 40-point, well, it's a 42-point lead already.
Meanwhile, that was a great move from Mendoza. Good to see Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith still trying to make something happen, but at this point of the game, the Batang San Juan Knights, just to simply put it, too much for them. From deep, that's good from Magpayo.
A rare field goal converted here by the Junior Microsmith.
On the other side, Joe Gulapa. Another day in the office for him. No good the shot. This time it's Macaranas trying to score, and he does.
No resistance whatsoever from the defense of the Junior Microsmith on the other end.
So the Batang San Juan Knights on their way to scoring probably 100 points in this game. And it's actually the birthday of Jeremy Pascual, playing right now for the Batang San Juan Knights, jersey number 23.
What a birthday gift for him it will be. I know it's only the third quarter, but can't blame me for assuming that this will be a blowout victory already for the Batang San Juan Knights. Zado Cruz converts on that first free throw.
And the Cruz playing for the Ama University Kings. Actually him, Monteroso, Mendoza, and Magpayo, I believe.
Sapasa just taking it coast to coast there.
Right now, Cruz with a basketball. Nowhere to go, no foul call. Carlos picks it up. Inside the reverse, that's good for Cantorna. Carlos playing pretty good for Mandaluyong this season. Again, unfortunately, Mandaluyong not the best season that they would want to have.
Not a lot of silver linings now for the Junior Microsmith. As a player, I would just probably use this time to try and work on my game, maybe work on some moves that I don't normally do, get some reps in, para hindi naman sayang yung punta nila dito.
Unfortunately, Mandaluyong isn't too far from Manila. Same with San Juan. Speaking of San Juan, they're 10 points away from 100 points. As we have over 2 minutes remaining in our third period. And we take another look at this Joe Gulapa slam dunk. Again, effortlessly thrown down by Gulapa. Another day in the office for the Mapua Cardinal. Meanwhile, J.D. Gorino scoring 2. Cantorna Great move, unable to finish. The Batang San Juan Knights continuing to play hard. Lance Ronquillo misses that shot. Eligado, 2 more points for Jamir Eligado. (94-45). On the other side, that's Jail Datario finding the bottom of the hoop. This time Mandaluyong again. Let's see what they have in mind. Carlos Cantorna, former San Beda Red Cub, played actually with Lance Ronquillo, who is on the court right now as well.
Oh, that's right. Lance Ronquillo, member of the San Beda Red Cubs prior to transferring to the USD Tiger Cubs. And now I believe he will be a part of the San Sebastian basketball program.
So we're gonna see Lance Ronquillo, Eligado, Valentin, Golapa, Anagbogu. And I believe that's it. We're gonna see them in the next NCAA season. Same with Macaranas as well, I'm sorry. And then we have Halalon and Mina, who are already part of their mother teams, of their Team A rosters. That'll be it for the first 3 periods. The San Juan Knights already scoring more than 100 points before we start our 4th period. That's insane. We'll be back for more action. Once again, this is the one and only Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL D-League. Back to the action here again. The Batang San Juan Knights, to simply put it, just dominating their opponents. Right now we enter the 4th period. Still no Bobet Monteroso present on the side of Mandaluyong, as Jamir Legado effortlessly gets 2 points. Mandaluyong right now with a possession. I believe only scored 10 points during that 3rd period. And that's Carlos Cantorna getting 2 points.
I'm sure they're very familiar with each other. Kanina pa nagbibiruan itong dalawang to, no? Cantorna and Ronquillo. Oh, but our officials telling Cantorna to get checked out by our medics as there is some blood on his left cheek. So, talagang nothing going right for the Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith. Of course, for health and hygiene purposes. Cantorna has to get cleaned up first by our medical staff before he checks back into this ball game. And just when you think things couldn't get any worse for the Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith, nangyari pa to.
Remember that time in NCAA college basketball in the US when Colin Sexton and the rest of his Alabama teammates had no choice but to play only 3 players for their team against, I forgot the team they were up against, but basically the point is they only played 3 players. That's the last time I've heard of 3 players going up against 5 in a 5 versus 5, supposedly 5 versus 5 setup. And this time, the second one. So good to see our Mandaluyong players still doing their best. As Kendall Valentin getting called for their travel.
Kendall getting a little too excited there. Gustong i-dunk yung bola. Got called for a travel instead.
But props to Kendall Valentin. I mean, he knows there are only 3 players for Mandaluyong and he's going at them.
Oh, future King Cardinal yan. Kendall Valentin not taking it easy on the defense.
You heard it here first. Kyle Sanchez says Kendall Valentin is a future King Cardinal.
Oh, high expectations from me. Para dito kay Kendall Valentin, no? For once he checks in for the main team ng Mapua Cardinals. But yeah, just Ado Cruz just dribbling the ball out.
The Cruz unlimited shots for today's game. I mean, he does average 18, the most in his team. He has the right to do so even if they are complete. Meanwhile, Eligado will try, won't hit. And the Batang San Juan Knights still really trying to get that basketball. $112-50. San Juan doing more than twice of their opponent's scoring output. 2 more points for them. So that's Bobet Monteroso and Carlos Cantona out.
Cantona still being tended to by our medical staff, getting that cut cleaned and closed up. Before he checks back into this ball game as Mejia scores on that under-goal stab. And Ado Cruz going one-on-one against Kendall Valentin, asking for a screen from Mendoza. Getting that switch with Ronquillo.
Mendoza, no good at the shot. We have under 6 minutes remaining. So pass up sends it out. Valentin, no good from downtown. Meanwhile, Ado Cruz making it look like an exhibition game. Mendoza this time. Ado Cruz again. Looks like he will look to shoot. He does. That's no good. And good to see Ado Cruz just making the most out of this time. Perhaps a tryout. That time it's Lance Ronquillo again. Current San Sebastian Stag. Magpayo literally has nowhere to go.
And no one to pass to.
Literally. That'll be a miss. The Knights still pushing the pace. What a pass that time. But that dunk is fumbled by Mejia. Nonetheless, he'll clean up his own mess. Lance Ronquillo just practicing his behind the back passes at this point. Magpayo setting up a screen for his teammate. Meanwhile, able to send that home is JB Magpayo. Another behind the back pass and another missed dunk.
Unfortunately for the Batang San Juan Knights, they can afford to commit some errors here.
I mean, they could afford to commit 10 errors at this point of the game.
Actually, even if they don't score anymore for the remaining 3 minutes and 45 seconds, they still
Oh my goodness.
be a blowout victory. And Now looking like layup drills once again for the white shirts.
Meanwhile, let's see what they have in mind. Valentin still going at it. I mean, how could you not love the energy of this guy? Meanwhile, 2 points for him, another 2 points for him. Looks like he really wants that player of the game award. But it'll be up to my partner here if he's indeed our player of the game. Well, he does have 11 points. Meanwhile, Ronquillo, will he dunk this? Obviously not. Or will he lob it? And Mejia, another, perhaps you could consider that a dunk. San Juan now at 126 points. And we still have under 3 minutes remaining in this game. Ronquillo this time. Try to lob it. Meanwhile, Valentin, the burst of energy from this guy is unbelievable. Valentin still trying to get the basketball, he does. And this time, Valentin looking for a dunk. Obviously, he's looking for a dunk. The last 2 minutes, of course, brought to you by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances. And for our next game, make sure to stay tuned. It's the Caloocan JY Batang Kangkulo going up against the Manila Health Forum. So that should be a good one. As Caloocan holding that 2nd seed while Manila holding that 7th seed.
It's also going to be an interesting matchup, even though number 2 versus number 7. No, you can't count Manila out. They could just surprise the Caloocan squad.
Again, there's a lot of good players actually for Manila. We have Sean Walhati and Kyle Serrano. That's gonna be, again, hopefully one heck of a match. And for Caloocan, you have the likes of Clint Manzano, who by the way just won a championship.
Cantorna checking back into this ball game, sporting a bandage on his left cheek. Immediately the ball is stolen by Pascual. And the junior Microsmith not even bothering anymore to try and score on this possession. Just going to waste the clock here. And that's right, for our viewers, the score is 134 to 53 in favor of the Batang San Juan Knights. Go for gold, a dominant wire-to-wire showing here against the Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith.
And you took the words right out of my mouth. 1-0 lead. The Batang San Juan Knights 1 win away from moving to the semi-finals round of the North Division. On the other hand, the Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith still has one more game to really make it right. But for this game, it'll be San Juan going home with a laugh. 134 to 53, that's our final score. And up next, again, just like what we've mentioned, it's the Caloocan Batang Kangkulo, the 2nd seeded team, going up against the 7th seeded team, the Manila Health Forum with Doc Atoy. As once again, this has been Cholo Pangilinan with professional basketball player Kyle Sanchez and CJ Ang on the sidelines. And this has been the one and only Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL D-League.
Junior MPBL para sa'yo. Ang liga ng bawat batang Pilipino. pangarap isang tagumpay, yeah. Kabayan pag-asa ng bayan, landas pagbabago, pag-asa ikaw ang mahalaga. Iba't iba, pero isang halaga. Nagkakaisa, nagmamahalan, nagtutulungan. Liga ng
Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL.
Would like to thank Dorite Bola ng Pinoy, the first Pinoy basketball brand, Don Benitos, ang pambansang cassava, Nature Spring, #1 bottled water in the Philippines, pound for pound fitness, Be Liga Ready, Jinky Skin, empowering women by redefining beauty, Pound Active, for quality sportswear, Wing Bowl, it's like coming home, Chris Jacob Collection, for affordable but quality daily perfumes,